Place Your Tips. Daggy and Beaver with you for a weekend preview as I hit the wrong slider on my Mixie-Doo Bob. How are you, Beaver?
Not too bad, thanks, Daggy. How are you, mate?
Yeah, good. Beautiful weather in Sydney town. Some almost spring racing in Sydney and exciting times.
It is exciting times. Looking looking forward to the upcoming carnival, and sort of starts to kick us into it now.
Yeah, well, there's also Moonee Valley, which we'll get to. That's in its own story there. But we kick off at Rosehill. We're going to get a good track. Got beautiful weather. The rail's in the 3 metre mark. I've treated it as fair for now, but I am very wary of the rail being the place to be. Any thoughts on how the track might play?
Look, I think, yeah, I'm a bit wary as well. The track has probably been a little bit favourable to the inside and leaders, which does concern me for a couple of races. Um, yeah, have to see how it plays early, but I'll probably go that way and to start the day, and hopefully you can run on a little bit later, maybe over the bit longer distances too.
Yeah, we're going to kick off with the new season 3-year-olds, 1,300 metres, a benchmark 72. And I guess we're going to learn early because the little pump is going to be up there pumping away, Beaver. Who do you like here?
Yeah, look, I do like Cabalas as a horse. I think it's got plenty of potential and plenty of upside. But as you said, I've gone for Little Pumper on the basis that I'm assuming it is going to potentially favour the inside and those up on pace early in the day. So I've gone the Little Pumper to jump in front, probably get control here, and it might be just too hard to run down. But super scared of Cabalas. I think it's a good horse, but it's gonna need the pace on him to be able to run on, and may not get that conditions to suit.
Yeah, I sort of agree with everything you've said there. Cabalas is probably the best horse in the race, and my concern is map and track here because Little Pumper might get its own way, and Cabalas has to run it down. It's definitely capable of it if all things are being equal, but I'm slightly leaning towards Little Pumper getting all those favours, first leader of the day, and being off and gone on the bend. I think there's a lot of chaff here, though. I think didn't like Ganbari's trials. If you're looking for horses away from the key two at a price, I think How Dare You can keep improving off its win. And I think Waverley is a nice horse that can come back, both at if you're looking for horses to throw into exotics more than anything. But some of these are in the market I don't necessarily have an opinion of. The second is a 1,500 metre midway benchmark 72, and I spent a heap of time trying to pick out the best runs in all those bunch finishes over the last sort of 6 weeks, and I decided that it was a waste of time, and I'm just going to go somewhere else because they're all as good as each other. Some of those runs, so left me with two others. It's left me with Satnus, who has bowled in its last couple, and more importantly, gets the lead here. At about $14, I think it's going to run well. It's found some nice form down in Kembla of late and finds a right midway to come to. And Straight Acer, it does have to run a distance, which is the concern, but comes through a stronger race and is just that different form. The other one that I'll cover at a price, and it's drifting actually, is Super Friendship. Both its first 2 runs are very good. Then it was just spat at the back, and that was a complete non-event. That last one, even luck here, it runs better than that. I think that different form lines are going to be in play here. What have you made of this?
Yeah, look, both your call outs there are live chances. Thought Satnus, you're right, might jump on pace and give him something to chase here around $15. But I've gone Dreamdeel. Dreamdeel, I think, hopefully can just get on the back of Satnus and get that from that inside gate, and maybe just sit behind him, which I think will be okay. Get the run at the right time, and might just be able to finish over the top of him here. Is third up, first up wasn't far behind Sawami, and then it was a good run. Got home as favourites last start at Wyong. Gets some weight relief here, so 56.5 is okay, and drawn to get a few favours. So I've got it as my on topper.
Awesome. The third is an 1,800 metre benchmark 78. Who do you like here?
I just can't take one guy's bait at the price. $1.80 for me is way too skinny. So I went for the next two in the market. I thought I'd play around both of those. Boot Scooter is going great guns at the moment. It was a lovely run last start, and prior to that one nicely, it's going. So I think it's a live chance. I had hit as the hardest to beat, but I had it my own topper, and it's the main danger to Travelling Kate. Just thought it's been improving each run this time in. Love the way it got to split and burst through last start. With some natural improvement here, I think it can run well, and gate 2 is good enough here.
I'm against Boot Scooter because I decided that. Well, we said it before the race, but that Masquerade mares race was garbage that came through. So I've penned that. I was unfortunately left with Wineglass Bay because there's not much else here. Blinkers go on, JMac sticks. I don't like the price at all. So on top, probably not betting. You've mentioned Travelling Kate, main danger, and Silent Agenda doesn't really go at Rosehill. Otherwise, it sat outside lead last start and was quite good, not far away from Tarzerol, who would lap these. And around the $10 mark, I thought is a live chance, but the Rosehill record, the obvious concern there. 1300 metre highway is part of the early quarter again. It's a class 3. You're our highway guy. Have you got here?
Oh man, this was tricky. Not so sure on the highway guy here, mate. This is a super hard race. I kind of narrowed it down to a few runners. I went for on top tags. Thought it could run well. Been a nice couple of runs, third up here. Not so sure with regards to where it will get to, and that may be a bit of an issue. It was only 3 lengths behind Mogo Magic first up, and then was only a length and a half behind the favourite in I Am Will in this. Drops a slight bit of weight on that, so I think it can run well. I Am will be up near the pace. Strong gate 3 means that it should get a nice run in transit, so I've got it as the main danger. That's the kind of way I'm looking at it.
My only thought in the race is that Overlord, I think's better than a highway horse. It's been not far away in metro races all the way through, and it's 20-1. I might have something on that. We've seen in the last month a couple of those horses that have proper metro form, both from Melbourne and Queensland, have been winning. So we may have a stab at 20s there on the top weight. The 5th is a benchmark 88, 1200 metres, and well, I'm going to tip JMac. Whichever one turns up, he's going to win. There's 2 hopes. One of them's going to come out. So Extremely Lucky and Olentia. Extremely Lucky is a nice horse. It did some very good stuff fresh last time. Goes to Chris Waller now. Has trialled fantastically. Trialled better than Fangirl in that most recent trial. And if it's here, it'll win. If it's not, I assume Olentia's here and it'll win because the rest of these are midweek horses. Beaver?
Yep, couldn't agree with you more there. Extremely Lucky on top for me. I think it looks super hard to beat. One of the better bets on the card, and my clear on topper.
The 6 is a 1400 metre benchmark 78. Who's your clear on topper here?
Yeah, look, I'm sticking with the progressive one here, and that's Called Die. It was pretty good when last in work and ran in some really good races, some Group 1 races. And didn't kind of go too bad. Had a good layoff here, but resumes in the right race here. This is not a difficult race. These are mainly midweekers here. Some going okay, but I think they've got bigger plans in mind for Called Die than this, and probably want to take care of these to step up to that.
Yep, it's on top. It's trialled really well just behind Alligator Blood last, in preparation for this. It's better than these, should be winning, and as you said, onto some mares, black type, I'd suggest. If I had to find a danger, I think it's Fear Naught, who's going really well, and it's been saved from Melbourne last week. So, one of the better bets on the card, Called Die. 1400 metre benchmark 78 up next. And my big question is, what do we do with this Queenslander, Beaver?
Yeah, look, I'm going to take it on. Yeah, even money for me was, I just wasn't so sure coming to Sydney. Even money running in some 3-year-old handicaps, Eagle Farm and the likes against. I'm just not sure what that form
I reckon you get
is like.
this will be nearly $3 tomorrow. If this is still even money tomorrow, it's got more ability than we think.
Yeah, 59 kilos coming to Sydney. I went away from it. I just thought it was a little bit skinny. I've gone for what he goes. I just thought that was impressive last start. I thought King of Naples was going to be a real threat to it, but it just controlled the race, was too good, and just I think it's still had starting in hand. And yeah, backs up for this a week later. So on the fast back up, super hard to beat. And Chorlton Lane, I think it's can improve off last start. Wasn't far away. Second up syndrome. Gets 3 kilo claim here and gets the right distance, right draw. It can run well as well. So kind of betting those two, but gone for the one a little bit more value.
I'm with you. I've had the same thoughts. Echo everything you've said. I've got Chalton Lane on top. Bit of second up syndrome just out of its ground there. I like the trial on the Monday in preparation for the Saturday. I think it's going to run well here. From Ortegas, who's flying? Everything you've said. I agree with everything you've said, and I'll stop talking. The 1100 metre feature is the Rosebud lead up to the Golden Rose, where we've got not a bad 3-year-old field here. And I'm going to suggest that this is a good race, but the ones I want to play around, the key chances, I'm taking on Tiz Invincible a bit here. I think the instructor's going to bounce straight to the front. Under hip out, it's trialled really well. It's the one they all have to get past. I think Cigar Flick, that race a couple of weeks back, is better than what we think it is. And I think this is a nice horse. It's going to run well. And I think Roussillon's over the odds. Just forget what happened down at Moonee Valley. Couldn't possibly win because it wasn't anywhere near the fence. Comes back, gets an inside gate. Might even lob on leaders back here. And around $9 will be my best result in the race. I'm thinking if I'm going. That all being said, I think Roussillon and the instructor are going to be my main bets in the race. I know I've mentioned 3, but what have you thought of this?
Yeah, look, I've settled on the instructor as well. Resuming here again, probably looks to set up to suit here, gate 5. Looks like it'll probably go forward, try and control the race up the front. And for that reason, I think it's going to be super hard to beat. Rousillion, I kind of liked last start and was slightly disappointed, but that was on a bit of a leader bias track as well. And if they can run on here, 100% think you're right. I think around the $10 mark is pretty good value, but I've settled on the instructor. And I thought, all of the other chances in the race can run well. Tiz Invincible, Cigar Flick was very good first up, and I think it can run as well.
The 9th is a 1400 metre handicap. Is there a trick shot here, Beaver?
What trick shot are you looking for?
I couldn't find one. I was just asking. It just, some of these handicaps throw up something weird. I don't have one. I think Colina will win. I think it returned really well.
Yes.
I like it second. I know it's been beaten a couple times second up, but it's run well enough. That was a great return. That was really soft through the line there. It's going to find running line again for Preble, and I think it's going to win. Pericles is a nice horse. I think it's probably going to be more looking for 1,800, 2,000 down the line. And as the market suggests, Perfect Thought has trialled quite well. Yeah, I could not find a trick shot is where I'm headed. Not quite market order, but close enough. What do you go with?
Yeah, look, I've gone for Colina as well. I thought first up I really liked it, and it didn't let me down. They backed it off the map, and it ran accordingly. That was a really good run. This sets up nicely again. Gate 13 worries me a little bit. But there's already been one scratching. Just trying to think how the run.
I hope it just finds running line. I hope it doesn't
cuts across. Yeah.
I hope it's not snagged.
I'm just wondering how it gets the. Yeah, that's my concern of how they get it across, and where it's sitting. I don't really want to be giving Pericles too much of a start. but yeah, we've got the 3.5 kilo pool there, and I think at the price sets up well. Keen to see if Banana Queen can bounce back. That was a pretty ordinary first up run there, but drops 7 kilos on that. So certainly keep an eye out for it. But I've got Colino on top here, and those the two in the market are the main ranges, no doubt about it.
The last is 1100 meter benchmark 78. Garza Blanca comes here at even money. And when you look back now, perhaps that form around it, I mean, it's been beaten by Felix Majestic and Yoshino, who were midweek horses it's 2 runs in Sydney. Does it concern you, or are you happy with it?
No, I will be playing, going harder on Garza Blanca. I think it's possibly the best bet of the day. Really liked its trial. I thought that was pretty good. Had plenty in hand there, and I don't see there too much here. It's got the right combination. McDonald, Gate 2. This is, there's horses here that haven't done a lot. The main ones in the market for some time, and the other ones 20s plus that have had, but most of those are resuming. And country provincial race horses, and this is a genuine city horse.
Yeah, fair enough. I tried to find something to get beat. I couldn't. Still not enthused about even money. For the sake of the argument, I think Troach was given none first up. Runs better here. Pushes forward for Tim Clark. Nickley Beagle, and the next couple I'll mention will go in the quaddie, which I'm about to do. But a bit icky, but yeah, I sort of ended up with Garza Blanca on top. The said quaddie for progritracing.com.au, which you can check out for everything going on as we get into the Spring Carnival. We're going to go first leg. Number 3, Watagos. Number 4, Soami. Number 5, Freedom Rally. Number 9, Chalton Lane. Second leg is 1, The Instructor. 2, Tis Invincible. 3, Fire Lane. 5, Cigar Flick. 7, Rousillion. Third leg, 2, Pericles. 4, Colino. And 9, Perfect Thought. And we'll come home with 1, Cur Royale. 2, Troach. 8, Garza Blanca. 11, Nickley Beagle. And 12, Molly Nails for the knockouts. If you want to, if it so tickles your fancy to leave the favourite there one out in the last, I wouldn't talk you out of it, I guess. Your best in value for progritracing.com.au. You're probably about to tip Garza Blanca as your best, are you?
I am. Okay. I'm going to go race 10 at number 8, Garza Blanca as my best. And my value bet is race 7, number 3, what he goes around $6. I think that's really good value.
Awesome. My best is whatever Waller runner turns up in race 5. So at this stage, it's either extremely lucky or Olentia. Whichever one there turns up will win. It's a bit of a Chris Waller day. He could train at Spring's coming. He's going to probably have a handful of winners. My value, race 8, number 7 at Rousillion. As we head down to Moonee Valley, where apparently there's a bit of rain around. Currently a good track. The rail's in the true, which suggests that the highway is now 5 metres off. I suggest they're probably going to be looking for that and running on. And Beaver, it was an absolute slog to get through this 10-race meeting. Once they start throwing these benchmark 70s in to fill the gaps, it's hard work, dead set. Anyhow, did you enjoy getting through any of this?
Not overly. So you think they're going to be running on and not leader dominated like last time?
I believe they've said basically the more compact stuff is it was out 5 metres last time, so that's where the compact of the turf has happened, and the track manager believes that's where they'll get to as the day goes on. Obviously, you want to see it first, but I've lent a little bit that way with the rail going back to true. Yeah. You going the other way, are you?
Okay.
Well, no, pretty quickly.
Yeah, not convinced.
This is the thing, and as we get towards doing the Moonee Valley Friday nights, you've almost got to do 2 sets of tips when you do these.
Yeah. I prefer to go with the sort of on pace up front and take my chances because I tend to think it leans towards that more so than down the middle of the track.
Cool. Well, you can lead us away here with the 3-year-olds again over the 1,000 metres in a benchmark 78.
Yeah, I'm kicking off in the first with number 8, Pride of Sullivan. Only had the 1 start, 1 win. Odds on, won really well. and I think it's capable of another nice run. They won and put it out and bring it back a couple of months later here, and it probably jumps and runs, if not leads, and I'm going to go that way and check it out in the first.
Yeah, I think it's a nice horse. Mickey D back, as I said last week, makes me happy. Early thoughts is I think he'll be the jockey of the carnival this year, and this is a nice enough horse. Great tick over trial since. It's going to run well. From Epic Proportions with the cigar flick form, sat outside lead on that red hot fence day and was quite good. Only just missing there. So I think it runs well again here. The second is the first of these benchmark 70s where we've lost a few already. 1,000 metres again. And I am sticking with Twin Perfection, who's put a couple of nice wins together. And I think the Moonee Valley track will suit it. Little Whippet should find a fence, either probably lead us back actually, but with Field of Flutes coming out, may even lead this. I'm hoping it's not complete mud inside, and maybe you're right. If it all goes to plan, I think it'll win. What are you thinking?
I'm going Never Standing Still. I think the inside draw there means it probably hunts up and leads these over the 1,000. Hard to get past these horses over the 1,000. If it can control the tempo, gets a 2 kilo claim, so has a little bit of a weight pull there, and one first up. So I think it can be hardest to beat.
The third is a benchmark 78 over the mile. And I am giving Picture None another chance here. I've gone against that Moonee Valley lead up where Lavore just couldn't get past her on the conveyor belt. But Shandon Burge was on its back on the rails and looked awful. Didn't make a lot of ground there. So I'm saying Picture None, coming from a different form line, is going to run better than its last start. The best run in that race was Lady Court, and it's the main danger for me. Over to you.
Yeah, good little race here. I've gone for Lady Court. I think it might just get the wood on the 7 this time in. I know that's sort of the barriers line up in favour of Lavore, but I think Lady Court's run was really good. I like the 1.5 kilo claim. I think it might just be able to sit outside and maybe just too strong in the end this time in.
A mile benchmark 70 is up next, and actually I think there's actually a couple of decent horses in here. Who have you put on top though?
I'm sticking with the Waterhouse Pop OK Cupid. Would have been more confident if you just come out and won yesterday, or was it yesterday or the day before? Yesterday, I think, but it was a little bit disappointing. So question mark that form slightly, but again, it will jump and run. Gate 4 means it can control this, and maybe the hardest to get past. Main danger, number 6, Master of Chant, the International. It was very good first up at Sale, led there, so it probably goes and tries to sit outside OK Cupid, I'm assuming, and it might just depend on who's the stronger horse and where the best lane is. But I think those two will fight it out.
I pretty much agree. I flipped them. I liked Master of Chance debut, and I actually think it gassed out a little there. And if you watch the replay, it sort of wandered off the track. I think that was just fitness catching up with it. I think it's going to be better for the run. I think a mile's going to suit it, and I think it's going to run well. From OK Cupid, as you said, the form around it looks good. Royals is bolted in as well. Who would beat? So 2 key chances. By now we'll know the track pattern. One at a bit of a price for everyone is I've liked the work of Senior Uno coming over from NZ for Mick Kent, and I think it's got a bit of ability. It might need the run, but it's 30s and will go into some early quaddies for myself. The fifth is a 1,200 metre benchmark 84, and I like this top weight here. Recommendation: talented horse, lightly raced, won well in Sydney, came back and won some black type last. When was that? Back in early autumn. Finds a right race. There's not a lot else here. If everything's being equal, it'll win this and win this well, I think. Show some decorum. If I had to name a danger, was not bad first up.
Funny, we come up with the same stuff. Interesting there. I think you're right. Recommendation, if you go back, ran third behind a fairly starting favourite, I think behind a decent horse called Think About It.
Goes all right.
So that goes all right. That was back first up last campaign, then come out and won both its races after that. One in Group 3 company, won 4 from 6 with a second or a third. So I think it's going to be hard to beat Gate 10. Probably have to just speed him up and get him across there. And I think you're right, Show Some Decorum was pretty good first up and had some good form last preparation, including a second behind Colino when it was in Sydney. So much troubled horse, but can run well here.
Up next, we've got a 2040 benchmark 70. Here's a race for you, Beaver. Can you find us a winner?
A bit of action here, isn't it? Quite tricky here. I've gone for, because it was such a hard race, Wascally, around the $5 mark. Came here with some decent form, winning at Sale, spelled, went to Benalla, got back and ran on and won well there. And then first up at Sandown, got right back and came home pretty well there, over 1,600, gets out to the 2,000 here. You might be right, they might be able to swoop and scoot home. And if they can, I think it's a huge chance in this. Stood out to me.
I have nothing more to add. I agree with everything. So we'll go to the next race, which is a 2040 metre benchmark 100, where I am going to go with the new import here. I liked its work. Group 1 placed Sissoko. Jump outs are awesome. This could be a talented horse. Finds a great race to kick off on. And around $6, I'll be with it. From floating artist who is also a very talented international and getting some fitness under the belt, can run better here. Just decided to pen that other lead-up race altogether. Obviously, Milford was the unlucky one there.
Yeah, it was, but seems to be running a lot of seconds and thirds, which probably a bit under the rating there. I had Sissoko as well. I thought it could run well first up. He's a Group 1 place getter, as you said. Some great runs overseas and behind some fairly decent horses, and I think he can run well first up here. Good trainer, good jockey, right draw.
Beautiful. 2,500 metres is up next, a benchmark 78. Who have you found?
Yeah, isn't this a tricky one? My original tip has come out here in Matthews, so that's left me a little bit guessing as to which way it goes. I've gone for Woods. Thought it was a good run last start. Thought 650 presents nicely here. These tend to take a little bit of turn in winning these races, but thought it might run well. It was a good run, given the other thing was sort of off and gone, but it's still boxed on steadily and probably runs out a nice 2,500. So I had it on top.
I made the basically I've decided that if Union Gap runs 2,500, which I'm not convinced on, it'll win. The problem is I'm not convinced on it, so I'm left with, I did like Matthew as well. I'm left with Botany as the other key chance, who is flying, coming off a couple of distant lead-ups, and will go well. And next best now, I'm elevating your mate Paulie Pruska. The form out of that last race looks all right. Pacino and co there. The horse in question is named Christmas, if I didn't mention that. The 1,000-metre benchmark 100 comes up next, and the hot Sydney horse, Omni-Man, lobs here at Moonee Valley. Is that the way you're going?
Yeah, 100%. I think Omni-Man can win this. Gate 1, flying at the moment. I think everything points in its favour, and I don't think there's a lot of depth to this race. Inundation, we know, has shown some ability sometimes, but has capitulated at other. Gets in at lightweight, but I think Omni-Man can kick up, and if it holds the lead, it probably will give Inundation no chance. If the other one does take it on and goes to lead, it can sit behind and probably just with fitness on its side outplug it.
My only concern is the rail's not completely off. Otherwise, Omni-Man clearly on top for everything you said. Inundation is potentially the best horse here by a long way, but its legs keep falling off, so I can't Fresh is maybe best for it, so it has done some very, very good stuff fresh, but I don't necessarily trust it. You know what you're getting with Omni Man. I think as long as all things have been equal, it's one of the better bets on the card. We're going to wrap up with a 1,200 metre benchmark 70. Here was another one I thought, what am I going to do here? And then I scanned down a page and I saw Peril, and it was nearly the run of the year last time, the way the track played at Moonee Valley. Once I saw its name, I stopped doing any form. I decided to win this race. So that's all I've got to say on the race. I think $3.30 is a good price.
Same. Thought the same. Just went, interesting. $3.40 in this field, gate 5. I don't think if there's not the bias there was last start, it'll be too good for these.
Yeah. Can you give us your quaddie for Moonee Valley?
I can, because you asked so nicely.
Please.
First leg, race 7. I'm going number 2, Milford. Actually, number 1, Floating Artist. Number 2, Milford. Number 6, Sissoko. So just the 3.
Cool.
Skinny it up there. I don't think there's a lot of options here in the Moonee Valley back end. I think we can find some winners there. In the second leg, I'm going number 4, Woods. Number 6, Never Again. Number 8, Union Gap. Number 11, Botany. In race 9, third leg, I'm going number 1, Accra Mentula.
We didn't mention
number
that, but it's
4,
an interesting runner if they're swooping.
Yeah, it is. Number 4, Omni Man, and number 5, Sweet Ride. And then to come home in race 10, I'm going number 9, Cute As, number 11, Peril, and number 12, Mistake.
Beautiful.
So pretty skinny there, but yeah, take a bigger percentage.
Perfect. For progretracing.com.au, your best and value.
My best comes up in race 10, number 11, Peril. Going to have it on top, like its chances and like the price. And my value bet comes up in race 8, number 4, Woods, around the $7 mark.
I'm going to make my best race 10, number 11, Peril. My value at the 20s, I think race 4, number 2, Senor Uno can give you a sight at a big price. Around the rest of Australia very quickly. Couldn't find much at Morpheville. But at Belmont, race 7, number 4, Duchess of Gossip will win again. At Kembla Grange, race 2, number 1, Asfar was an ugly watch last time. I think it redeems itself tomorrow. And I'm going to hand over to the King in the North to tell us the 2 winners in the first 2 races at Eagle Farm.
Yep. So first race in Eagle Farm is one of my tips. Race 1, number 7, La Melody. I think it's going to win as second favourite. Yeah, I'm taking on vodka.
Ooh, okay.
I think the Melody can knock it over. So it's $3.30. I think it's quite nice. You won't catch me out. You're not going to catch me on Canazola, mate, at $1.70 in a second. Sorry. I'm bypassing. I'm letting that one go.
I bypassed after backing it the last 2 starts.
Yeah, 100%, mate. I'm not falling into that trick. I think the next best is race 5, number 7, Shopping Esprit from the Wallace stable. I think it can run well up in Brizzy as well. Race 7 at number 3, Rubiquitous. I think it can run well.
Mm-hmm.
And then race 8, number 1, Miss Kuta, Jimmy. I think it's worth a crack.
I like it. I wasn't expecting some of them, so nice shopping, Beaver. Give them strength, eh?
There you go, mate. Give them strength and out of the box just for you, Daggy.
Love it. Check out progretracing.com.au as we head towards the Spring Carnival. Melbourne Cup is just a few months away, in case you weren't aware. And sign up to our mailing list there to get this show into your inbox every Friday night. We'll be back Wednesday with a Wednesday midweek preview. Good punting this weekend, guys. Enjoy the beautiful Sydney weather, and we'll talk soon.